Tonight we're diving into the quiet corners of history, facts that don't always make the headlines but linger in the mind. These are the small, curious details that remind us how inventive, strange, and human our ancestors were. Whether you're drifting off, unwinding, or just letting this play in the background, there's no need to catch every word. Let these stories wash over you like a gentle tide. The visuals, if you're watching, are just a guide, a glimpse into the past. So settle in, get cozy, and let the modern world slip away for a while. Let's step back in time. 1. The first receipts were for beer. Imagine a bustling city 5,000 years ago in Mesopotamia, where the Sumerians scratched the world's earliest writing onto clay. Not poems or prayers, but lists, specifically lists of beer. These wedge-shaped marks, called cuneiform, tracked how much beer each worker received as payment. Beer wasn't just a drink, it was currency, calories, and safer than water. A single tablet might record 3 jars for Enki, 2 for Inanna. From these humble tallies, writing was born, proving even the grandest inventions start with everyday needs. 2. Ancient Egypt's air conditioning. In the scorching deserts of ancient Egypt, architects devised a clever way to beat the heat. Wind catchers. These chimney-like structures on rooftops funneled breezes into homes and temples. By angling them toward prevailing winds, they cooled interiors without a single moving part. Some even used damp reeds to add a touch of evaporative chill. Next time you crank the AC, remember the Egyptians were staying cool 4,000 years ago with nothing but ingenuity and airflow. 3. The world's oldest complaint letter. In ancient Babylon, around 1750 BCE, a merchant named Nani was not happy. He sent a clay tablet to a supplier named Ea-Nasir, chewing him out for delivering low-quality copper. The tablet, written in sharp cuneiform, complains about broken promises and rude treatment. It's the oldest known customer complaint, and it feels oddly modern, like a 1-star Yelp review etched in clay. Ea-Nasir, by the way, kept the tablet, maybe as a reminder to do better, or not. 4. Rome's traffic jams. Ancient Rome was a city of 1 million people, and its streets were chaos. Chariots, carts, and pedestrians clogged narrow roads, causing gridlock so bad that Julius Caesar banned daytime cart traffic in the city. Merchants had to deliver goods at night, rattling through the streets while residents tried to sleep. If you've ever been stuck in rush hour, know that Romans were griping about traffic 2,000 years ago. 5. The Maya's rubber balls. Long before modern sports, the ancient Maya played a high-stakes ball game on stone courts. Their balls, made from latex sap mixed with plant juices, were bouncy and durable, early rubber. Players used hips, elbows, and knees to keep the ball in play, sometimes risking their lives in ritual games. The Maya didn't just invent a sport, they pioneered a material that still shapes our world, from tires to sneakers. 6. Ancient China's earthquake detector. In 132 CE, Chinese inventor Zhang Heng built a bronze urn that could sense earthquakes hundreds of miles away. Decorated with dragons holding balls in their mouths, it worked like this. A tremor would nudge a pendulum inside, causing a ball to drop into a toad-shaped basin below, pointing to the quake's direction. No electricity, no computers, just bronze, balance, and brilliance. It's one of history's first seismic tools, and it worked. 7. The Indus Valley's perfect plumbing. Around 2500 BCE, the cities of the Indus Valley, like Mohenjo-Daro, had sanitation systems that rival modern ones. Homes had private bathrooms with toilets connected to brick-lined sewers. Covered drains ran along streets, and wastewater flowed to soak pits for filtration. While Europe was centuries from indoor plumbing, these ancient engineers were keeping their cities clean and livable. 8. Greece's alarm clock. The philosopher Plato didn't rely on roosters to wake up. Around 400 BCE, he used a water clock with a whistling mechanism. Water dripped into a vessel, building pressure until it forced air through a pipe. Sounding a shrill note, it was an early alarm clock, ensuring no one overslept their morning debates. Imagine waking to a hissing clay pot instead of your phone's buzz. 9. The Viking compass. Vikings sailed vast oceans without GPS, But they had a secret weapon, sunstones. These calcite crystals polarized light, revealing the sun's position even on cloudy days. By rotating a sunstone, navigators could pinpoint direction, guiding longships across the Atlantic. It's a reminder that ancient tech didn't need circuits to be sophisticated. 10. Ancient Japan's earthquake-proof pagodas. Japan's ancient wooden pagodas, some over 1,400 years old, still stand despite earthquakes. Their secret? A flexible central pillar called a shimbashira, sways during tremors, absorbing shock. Floors are loosely stacked, letting the structure wiggle without collapsing. It's a design so effective that modern engineers study it for skyscrapers. The past, it seems, still has lessons for the future. 11. The first vending machine. In 1st century Egypt, temples used coin-operated machines to dispense holy water. Drop a coin in a slot, and a lever system released a precise amount of water. No priest needed, just a clever contraption by engineer Hero of Alexandria. It was part automation, part crowd control, and wholly impressive for its time. 12. Babylon's star maps. The Babylonians didn't just gaze at the stars, they catalogued them. By 1000 BCE, they tracked planets and constellations on clay tablets, predicting eclipses and lunar cycles. Their 24-hour day and 60-minute hour come from their base 60 map, a system we still use. Every time you check the clock, you're nodding to Babylonian scribes. 13. The Olmec's giant heads. In Mesoamerica, the Olmec carved colossal stone heads, some 9 feet tall, around 1200 BCE. These basalt portraits, weighing up to 50 tons, were hauled miles without wheels or draft animals. Likely honoring rulers, they show the Olmec's skill and ambition. Picture the effort, teams of workers, ropes, and sheer determination, all for a single face in stone. 14. Rome's self-healing concrete. Roman harbors still stand after 2,000 years, thanks to a concrete recipe using volcanic ash and seawater. The ash formed minerals that grew stronger in water, sealing cracks naturally. Modern labs are decoding this ancient mix to build tougher bridges and dams. Sometimes the old ways outshine the new. 15. Ancient Egypt's fake doors. In Egyptian tombs, false doors carved into walls weren't for the living. These stone portals let the deceased spirit pass between worlds, receiving offerings from relatives. Beautifully carved with hieroglyphs, they blurred the line between life and afterlife, a quiet reminder of how Egyptians saw death as a journey, not an end. 16. The Inca's knotted records. The Inca didn't write books, they tied knots. Their quipu system used colored cords with intricate knots to record taxes, censuses, and stories. A single string could hold a village's harvest data. Carried by runners across the Andes, these portable databases kept an empire connected without a single written word. 17. Carthage's divine baby names. In ancient Carthage, parents named children to honor gods, like Hannibal, meaning grace of Baal. Names were prayers, tying kids to divine protection. This tradition shows how faith shaped daily life, from the cradle to the battlefield, in a city that rivaled Rome. 18. The Minoan's bull leaping on Crete. Minoan frescoes depict youth somersaulting over charging bulls. Was it a sport, a ritual, or both? We don't know, but it took guts and grace. The Minoans' love for bulls hints at a culture that revered strength and spectacle, long before modern bullfighting. 19. Ancient China's oracle bones. Around 1200 BCE, Chinese rulers scratched questions on turtle shells and ox bones, heating them until cracks appeared. Priests read the cracks as divine answers about crops, wars, or health. These bones are the earliest known Chinese writing, linking heaven and earth in a single fracture. 20. Polynesian star navigation. Ancient Polynesians sailed thousands of miles across the Pacific, using only stars, waves, and bird patterns. Navigators memorized star paths, guiding canoes to tiny islands. Their knowledge, passed orally, was as precise as any modern chart. proving human memory can rival technology. 21. The world's oldest leather shoe. In a cave in Armenia, archaeologists found a 5,500-year-old leather shoe, perfectly preserved in cool, dry conditions. Made from a single piece of cowhide, it was laced with care and worn soft from use. This wasn't a ceremonial piece. It was someone's everyday footwear, proof that even millennia ago, people valued a good pair of shoes. 22. Ancient Greece's painted statues. The marble statues of ancient Greece weren't gleaming white. They were painted in bold reds, blues, and golds, with patterns on robes and lifelike eyes. This polychromy made temples like the Parthenon vibrant, almost theatrical. Time stripped the color, but imagine walking past a statue that seemed to stare back. 23. The Persian Royal Road. The Persian Empire's Royal Road stretched 1,700 miles from Susa to Sardis around 500 BCE. Couriers on horseback relayed messages in days, not weeks, using rest stations like ancient post offices. The Greek historian Herodotus marveled, "Neither snow nor rain stays these couriers," inspiring modern postal mottos. 24. The Nazca Lines. In Peru's desert, the Nazca people etched massive geoglyphs between 500 BCE and 500 CE. Spirals, monkeys and birds visible only from the sky. Were they for gods, water rituals, or star alignments? We don't know, but their scale, some over 1,200 feet long, shows a culture thinking big. 25. Ancient India's surgical tools. By 600 BCE, Indian physician Sushruta described over 120 surgical instruments, from scalpels to probes, in his medical texts. He performed complex procedures like cataract surgery, using curved needles to nudge clouded lenses aside. No anesthesia, just precision and courage, with results that often restored sight. 26. Rome's public baths. Roman bathhouses weren't just for cleaning, they were social hubs. By 300 CE, Rome had over 900 baths, from grand complexes to neighborhood spots. People soaked, gossiped, and sealed deals in steaming pools. Some baths even had underfloor heating, a luxury we'd envy today. Irabati yeraldı. The Dogon star knowledge, the Dogon people of Mali, centuries ago, described the Sirius star system with uncanny accuracy, including its invisible companion, Sirius B. How did they know without telescopes? Some say oral traditions, others whisper of ancient visitors. Their star maps carved in wood still puzzle astronomers. 28. Ancient China's silk secrets. Silk production was a guarded secret in China for millennia, starting around 2700 BCE. Legend says Empress Leizu discovered it when a cocoon unraveled in her tea. Spies and smugglers later spread the craft, but China's silk monopoly fueled trade routes for centuries. 29. The Etruscans' smiling sarcophagi. In pre-Roman Italy, Etruscan tombs held terracotta sarcophagi with lids showing couples reclining, smiling serenely. Unlike grim Egyptian mummies, these figures seem joyful, as if death were a banquet. Crafted around 600 BCE, they hint at a culture that embraced the afterlife with warmth. 30. Mesopotamia's board games. The royal game of Ur, played in Mesopotamia 4,600 years ago, used a carved board and dice-like pieces. Found in a royal tomb, it was a strategy game for elites, but tavern-goers loved it too. Rules survived on a clay tablet, letting us play it today. Short musical transition like a soft harp glissando. 31. The Sahara's lost rivers. The Sahara wasn't always a desert. Around 6,000 BCE, it was lush with rivers and lakes. Ancient rock art shows people fishing and herding cattle. Climate shifts dried it up, but those vanished waterways shaped early African cultures, leaving fish hooks in now barren sands. 32nd. Ancient Greece's ostracism votes. In Athens around 500 BCE, citizens could vote to exile anyone deemed too powerful. They scratched names on broken pottery shards called ostraka. If 6,000 voted yes, the person left for 10 years, no trial needed. It was democracy's safety valve, messy but effective. 33. The Incas freeze-dried potatoes. In the Andes, the Inca perfected freeze-drying potatoes 1,000 years ago. They left tubers out overnight to freeze, then stomped out moisture under the sun. These chuño lasted years, feeding armies and surviving famines. Modern astronauts eat similar tech. 34th, Carthage's war elephants. Carthaginian general Hannibal crossed the Alps in 218 BCE with war elephants, terrifying Roman armies. Towering and trained, these beasts carried soldiers and smashed formations. Feeding them was a logistical nightmare, but their psychological impact was worth it. 35. Ancient Egypt's love poems. On papyrus from 1300 BCE, Egyptians wrote tender love poems. One compares a lover to a lotus flower, another begs for a stolen kiss. Scribes pen these for elites, but their raw emotion feels timeless, like lyrics from a modern ballad. 36. The Maori's tattoo art. In ancient Polynesia, Maori warriors wore tamoko, intricate facial tattoos carved with chisels. Each design told a story of lineage, status, or deeds. By 1000 CE, these living artworks were a badge of identity, as personal as a signature. 37. Rome's lead pipes. Rome's aqueducts fed water through lead pipes to homes and fountains. The word plumbing comes from plumbum, Latin for lead. Romans didn't know lead was toxic, but their pipes delivered clean water to millions, a feat unmatched for centuries. 38. The Harappan's city grids, Indus Valley cities like Harappa, built 2600 BCE, had grid layouts with straight streets and uniform bricks. Houses faced north to catch breezes, and public wells dotted intersections. This urban planning was centuries ahead of medieval Europe's chaotic towns. 39. Ancient China's crossbows. By 400 BCE, Chinese armies used repeating crossbows, firing bolts with a single pull. A lever reloaded automatically, letting one soldier shoot 10 shots a minute. Simple but deadly, they gave China's armies an edge in early warfare. 40. The Paracas skull surgery. In Peru, the Paracas people performed trepanation 2,000 years ago, drilling holes in skulls to treat injuries or illnesses. Many patients survived. Bones show healing. Using obsidian tools and herbal anesthetics, these surgeons were as bold as they were skilled. 41st, Viking runestones. Vikings carved runestones across Scandinavia, often to honor the dead. One from 1000 CE tells of a warrior who sailed to distant lands. Raised by families, these stones were part billboard, part gravestone, their runes still legible today. 42. Ancient Japan's clay guardians. In Japan's Kofun period, 300 to 700 CE, tombs were ringed with haniwa, clay figures of warriors, horses, and houses. Were they protectors or offerings? No one knows, but their expressive faces give a glimpse into a culture obsessed with the afterlife. 43rd, Mesopotamia's lunar omens. Babylonian priests watched the moon, recording its phases on clay tablets. A reddish moon meant war. A halo signaled rain. These omens from 1800 BCE blended astronomy and superstition, guiding kings through uncertain times. 44. The Olmec's magnetic stones. The Olmec of Mesoamerica carved basalt statues with magnetic properties around 1000 BCE. Some stones aligned with Earth's magnetic field, suggesting they understood magnetism long before compasses. Were they navigating or worshipping? The stones stay silent. 45. Rome's fire brigade. In 6 CE, Emperor Augustus created Rome's vigiles, a firefighting force. Armed with buckets, hooks, and vinegar-soaked cloths, they patrolled streets and doused flames. They also acted as police, keeping Rome's nights safer, if you ignored the occasional bribe. 46. Ancient Egypt's board game. The Egyptian game Senet, played 5,000 years ago, used a grid board and pawns. Found in tombs, it may have symbolized the soul's journey to the afterlife. Even Tutankhamun was buried with a set, ready to play for eternity. 47. The Akan's gold weights in West Africa. The Akan people used tiny bronze weights, shaped like animals or tools, to measure gold dust by 1400 CE. Each weight was a miniature sculpture, blending art and commerce in a currency that sparkled with creativity. 48. Greece's mechanical birds engineer hero of Alexandria built automatons in the 1st century CE, including birds that sang when water flowed through hidden pipes. These weren't toys, they wowed temple visitors, blending science and spectacle in a world without electricity. 49. The Inca's mountain terraces in the Andes. The Inca carved terraces into steep slopes, creating farmland where none existed. Stone walls held soil and channeled rainwater, feeding millions. Built by 1400 CE, many terraces still grow crops, defying time and gravity. 50. Ancient China's paper. Around 100 CE, Chinese official Kai Lun perfected papermaking from hemp and bark. Cheap and portable, paper replaced bulky bamboo strips, spreading writing and ideas. Every book you've read owes a debt to this quiet revolution. I hope you enjoyed these history facts. If you're still awake, consider subscribing to our channel for more. Until next time, have a wonderful evening.